Hello, I am Selene Kumin Vega, faculty at Saybrook University, and glad to be with you this day for a mindful moment. And for today's time of being mindful together, I'm going to stand. You don't have to stand, but we're going to do some movement. You might want to lie down, that would work too, or you can do it sitting. But we're going to take this time to move through the body in a moving kind of a body scan this time. So rather than just imagining and feeling into the different parts of our body, we're going to give them each a chance to move and feel. And I want to start actually with hands and with a little bit of pressure and touch with hands. So I invite you to put your hands together and to use one hand to just press, rub, touch, smooth, connect one hand to the other. I'm doing a little bit of massage here on some of the big muscles of my hands that have been typing away on the computer. Feeling the warmth of one hand on the other, the pressure and the sense of caring, one hand caring for the other, touching. And then at the same time that I'm touching, feeling what it is to be touched with the other hand. You might notice that your hands are warming up as you do this, just a little bit. Maybe take a little time here to really get some warmth going, rub them together a little bit. And I'm going to take my glasses off. If you have glasses on, you might want to join me with that and put your hands, if you'd like, on to your face with your palms and the warmth of your palms right over your eyes. Just let that warmth sink into your face, warm and connected. And again, you're feeling what it is to have your hands touching your face. And at the same time, feeling what it feels like to have your hands on your face from your face's perspective. What is it like to be touched in this way, to have your hands gently soothing your eyes? You might begin to a little bit of massage on your forehead, just sort of using your hands to release any tightness that might be hanging around in your face. These faces that work so hard all day to create expressions to show to the world, but right now, this is just for you. Just letting your hands release and then just letting your hands drop. And you might want to expand into a big yawn. Move things around, squish, open, twist. Just releasing everything that wants to let go in your face. And your face come back to a really neutral space, not having to communicate anything, just being. Now you might begin to feel your head and neck and begin to explore what movement might feel good. Maybe taking your head off to one side and stretching the sides of your neck. Maybe rolling around to the front a little bit. Maybe a little bit of shaking. You're just letting your head find what feels right for you. And as your head is moving, you might notice that your shoulders are moving a little bit as well to help your head in its movement. And So let those shoulders take over. Letting those shoulders roll around, shift forward, back, side, side. Just seeing what feels good in your shoulders right now. Letting that movement make its way down your arms. Feeling how your elbows might like to explore and feel what would feel good right now. And all the way down back to those hands that started us off. Wrists, fingers, maybe expanding them all, rolling them up, circling them all around, seeing what would feel good to your joints, your muscles, your energetic sense of yourself in this moment. Maybe take those arms all the way up. Maybe reach them out in different directions. Maybe in front and sides and up and back. Maybe one at a time, maybe together. Just letting your arms open things up in a way that feels good. None of this is for pushing beyond what feels good right now. Bringing your energy back to your torso. We were doing the shoulders. Now let's see if we can move down into the upper chest. Circle things around, maybe curl forward, maybe open up. Let your heart be opened, maybe dropping side to side, maybe circling all around. And as your spine finds what's comfortable in the way of moving at the top of it, begin to let that movement go down your spine, all the way down to hips. And finding out what your hips might like in this moment. Maybe moving side to side, maybe circling around. The rest of your body just following along, allowing yourself to let the hips be the guide here, and the rest of your body just is accompanying the movement of your hips. And in case you haven't noticed your breathing yet as you've been moving, now is a good time to begin to pay a little more attention to that breath. See if you can move it all the way down to your hips. And then as your hips move, you may notice that your hip joints are getting to move, and perhaps your focus can begin to move down your legs. See how your legs are either holding you up if you're standing, or connected to the ground if you're sitting, or resting on the ground if you're lying down. How are your legs in this moment, and what ways feel good to move them? Maybe stretching them up and maybe bending them down. Those knees are such an important part of what our legs can do for us and how we situate ourselves in each moment. Letting your knees explore a little bit. They don't like to go sideways so much, so letting them go, maybe bend and straighten a little bit. And then down to your feet. Seeing what your feet might like to do to explore. If you're standing or you have your feet on your floor, you can perhaps push into the floor and push against the floor to lift your feet up and put them back down. Maybe roll them around, circle them. Can you feel your toes and all those muscles in your arch, tops of your feet? And seeing what would feel good. Now letting that movement make its way to anywhere that it wants to in your body. Perhaps you noticed a place along the way that felt like it could use some extra attention. And now letting your breath really guide that movement. So as you breathe, where does that breath take your movement? It's one of those ways that we are always moving, is that because we're breathing, there's always movement as we expand to let that breath in, as we release to let that breath move out of us. So just finding what feels good in your body right now. What's stretching, what curling up to hug, what massaging of a place that feels like it needs attention. What deep or medium breath. Maybe there's sound that wants to come out. And then letting your movement become more and more gentle if it was not already. Maybe slowing down a little bit, finding your way to a place to settle. And as the movement settles down, noticing those movements that are inside of you. Maybe you can feel your heart beating, your breath, noticing the aliveness that's there inside of you, noticing the space that you're taking up right here with your body, your energy for the day, your space in the room or place that you are. Maybe you're outside. Feeling your sense of having a right to be right where you are right now. Being okay with whatever is there. Finding your readiness for the tasks there are to do. And in this moment, reminding yourself that there's nothing you have to do in this moment, but just be here with yourself, with the aliveness of your body, with this present moment of breathing and being. Maybe just a moment of gratitude for your body, your being, this moment, for having the time to settle into yourself and ready to move to whatever is next for you. Thank you for joining me, and I wish you all well as you move on to whatever's next.